Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be talking about a fast resting heart rate. This is one of those frustrating symptoms that can really mess with our acceptance. It really made me feel like there was something deeper than anxiety going on here with my heart. I had really bad heart anxiety, so this really messed with my acceptance, made it very difficult for that process to get going. So if you deal with this, you're not alone. And I'm telling you guys, if I could get out of this cycle, you can too. I promise you, you can. It's difficult, it's scary, but if you apply what I'm going to talk about in this video, you will start to get better. Okay, be patient with it. All right, be patient. But you know what time it is, guys. Smash the like button down below if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt today, in particular this fast resting heart rate. Before we move into this, guys, I'm not trying to play doctor today, so if you haven't gotten any initial reassurance or gotten a checkup or seen anybody about this, even if it wasn't a specialist, I'm talking about just your primary doctor, this video is probably not going to help you a ton because you're still going to doubt even what I say in this video. You're going to doubt everything. You're not going to trust your heart because you don't technically know if there's something going on or if there's not. Probably isn't anything going on, but you're not going to know that for sure. And even if there's a 99% chance that there's nothing wrong with your heart, you're going to constantly think that you could be that 1% unless you go get checked. So go get checked. Please get the ball rolling with that. That's the only way that you're going to be able to move forward with acceptance. But if you have gotten checked, know that even if the doctor's told you that you're fine, you've done everything, you've done all the steps that you feel like you need to do, the symptom can continue. Heart rate, just like any other symptom, can become an established habit, right? It's due to your focus, just the way that your body manifests anxiety, the fear that you've given it, the energy that you've given it, basically, essentially the power that you've given it over you. And it will continue to happen unless you do some of the things that we're going to talk about at the end of this video. But the first thing that I wanted to talk about was my experience with it. You know, after I had my first really bad panic attack, I was having multiple panic attacks a day. So obviously, if I'm having a panic attack, my heart rate could be 130, 140, 150, 160. Okay, easily, pretty much. It would just take off really quickly. But in between, guys, even if I wasn't being triggered or if there wasn't something obvious that would cause me anxiety, I could still have a resting heart rate, 90 to over 100. Again, easily. And for me, I had two different types of mornings. If I woke up in the morning and anxiety wasn't hitting me in the face, I could check my heart rate and it could be in the 60s or low 70s, which I was happy with that, But there were some mornings I would wake up, either panic, obviously, so my heart rate's just going crazy, or I could wake up and my heart rate would just still be like in the high 80s, 90s, over 100, just from the get-go, just from me opening my eyes. My body was already ready for battle. It was already ready for war. And then, of course, when your heart rate's already high like that, it doesn't take much for you to start panicking, and that's what would happen, So then I got into this habit of I was always constantly checking my heart rate all the time, man. I'm talking about every couple minutes I was checking. Now, I didn't have a watch or anything like that. I had to do it the old school way, but I definitely did that all throughout the day. So, yeah, resting heart rate, guys. I'm talking about things like sitting on the couch, maybe sitting down eating, standing in place, sleeping, laying in bed, even after waking up. I could have a fast heart rate. Now, this is something else that I want you to realize. Resting heart rate is the things that I just mentioned. It's not walking around. I thought that walking around, that slowly at least, should be like a resting heart rate. I thought doing the dishes or the laundry or maybe bringing in some groceries, I thought anything outside vigorous exercise applied to this average of 60 beats per minute to 100 beats per minute, which you're going to find online is a good resting heart rate. So if I brought in the groceries and it's hot outside and I come inside and I check my pulse and it's at 110, 115, I start to freak out. Whenever that's probably fairly normal. Maybe my heart is beating, 5 to 10 ticks faster because of my anxiety, obviously, because anxiety is just going to make your heart rate a little faster, even when you're not panicking, right? So you have to take that into factor, your sensitivity and your focus and all that. But it is normal for your heart rate to jump up sometimes pretty quickly if you get off the couch really fast, or you go up a flight of stairs, or you bring in a bunch of groceries, or if you go outside and it's hot and you're walking around. I can't remember the exact stat. You'll have to look this up yourself, but I think it's anywhere from like 80 or 85 beats per minute to like 115 if you're walking around slowly, and that's something that I wish I knew back then. I thought that if I was walking around and it was over 100, that I got this problem with my heart. Like, why is my heart rate going 115, 120 and I'm walking around? Well, that's not super abnormal. In fact, for a lot of people, it is normal. So know that if you're walking around and you're doing things, your heart rate is going to go up. You are just sensitive to those changes. That's another reason, guys. You feel your heart rate go up quickly whenever you get off the couch and all these things. Like, you're just very sensitive. You're so in tune with your body. You're hyper aware of what's going on. You feel everything so much more than other people. So that's another problem with this whole thing. You feel every single beat when some of these things were normal in the past, okay? And before I move on, eating a meal can even make your heart rate go up. Now, guess what? You're more sensitive to the things that you put in your body. The types of food that you eat matter. Heavy carbs and all that stuff. Heavy meals are going to make your heart rate go up faster. You add in the sensitivity, you add in the anxiety, all those fun things. Your heart rate's probably going to go up a little faster than this person over here sitting next to you having that big plate of spaghetti. Okay, you got the anxiety, you got the hyper focus, the sensitivity to what you're eating, everything. So that's normal when it comes to anxiety. There's some normalcy to it whenever you don't have anxiety. This guy over here just doesn't know that his heart rate went up 5, 6, 7 ticks when he was eating that big plate of spaghetti, because he's not in tune. He doesn't care. He doesn't fear it. He's not looking for it. He has no awareness of it. You know what I'm saying? But you do. So that's going on too. You have sensitivity and awareness to every beat. But yeah, it feels uncomfortable to be sitting on the couch though, and your heart's going, 90 beats per minute or 100 or 110. So if you're not exercising, if you aren't walking around and doing things like that, that is very uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable laying in bed at night and your heart's going 115, 120, it feels like, because it feels like it's racing even more when you're still. If you were to get up and move around, it makes sense a little bit more. But when you're really, really still, that feeling is even more uncomfortable. So this went on for me a couple years, and I want you guys to know you don't have to be consciously triggered to feel this symptom. It can be chronic, due to a bunch of things. How long you've been focusing on it, how often you've been checking on it. Are you living like a heart patient? Are you giving fearful responses whenever you check it? Are you justifying that this symptom is needed? Are you not adjusting your lifestyle and doing some of the things that we're going to talk about in a minute? So that's the reason that this thing is happening. As outside of the fact that you're in survival mode, outside of the fight or flight, you're in constant survival mode. So your body is anticipating something to pop off so it can efficiently get this blood around your body faster if it needs to do that, right? So it's just constantly going. You have more stress hormones in your body. Your engine is revving, okay? You're constantly checking, you're looking for it, and you have hypersensitivity to it. That's why this happens. Also, a lot of you are not being active anymore. You are skimming out on exercise. You're staying inside if it's hot. You're not wanting to get off the couch quick. You're not wanting to go up the stairs. You're not wanting to do things around the house. You're wanting to start staying in bed. Some people will stay in bed to avoid their heart rate going up. You're becoming more sensitive to regular life things. So now whenever you get up and you do things, your heart's going to start racing. So there's that issue. Then there's just the anticipatory anxiety also that plays into this, which is why it's happening. Oh, I hope my heart doesn't race at this wedding, or I hope my heart doesn't race whenever I have to get in the car and drive, this 2-hour drive that we got coming up. So anticipatory anxiety is another reason why this happens. So hopefully I covered all that. There's quite a few different reasons why this is happening. Anticipatory anxiety, hypersensitivity and awareness, your fearful responses, you're living like a heart patient, constantly checking, sending signals there, higher stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, your engine's always revving, okay? And your body is just trying to get blood around to be efficient if it needs to run or fight in the future. So that's what's happening, okay? That's what's happening. So what are some things that we can start doing? The first thing, guys, you have to stop checking. For some of you, this is going to be one of the hardest things that you can do, but this is going to be one of the ways that you get out of this faster. It's not, we've heard the thing like out of sight, out of mind. it does apply here, but it's just going to take a week or so for you to finally be okay with it, because you're going to be frustrated. Your subconscious is going to be like, why aren't you checking? We need to see where we're at. We need to see if we need to hurry up and go to the ER, or I need to know if I need to send you into panic mode, right? Please check. You know, we've been relying on it so long, right, to either give us comfort or let us know if we need to go get help or run to the ER. And funny enough, eventually it gets to the point to where even if I see it and it's high, or checking it and it's high, I'm still not going to the ER. So why am I checking? I'm just like, I just want to be triggered, right? What I wanted to do was I wanted to see if it was lower than what I thought. I was the type of person where I got triggered more often than I got comfort. You know, I might have gotten comfort 1 out of every 10 times I checked, maybe even less. Most of the time I was higher than what I wanted it to be. So it never did me any favors. In the beginning, sure, it maybe prompted me to get appointments made for my initial reassurance, or a few, different reassurance appointments. It got me to obviously go to the ER and spend the night a couple nights, but it never really saved my life. You know what I mean? Never saved my life by checking. So it just didn't make sense for me to keep doing it. On the flip side, for some of you, you're checking because it is giving you comfort. It is making you feel safe and okay, in your comfort zone. Whenever you check, it's like, okay, that's about 75. All right, I'm okay. I'm not about to die. That's about 80. I'm not about to die. You're still living like a heart patient. Your subconscious is not going to take you seriously when you say that we're healthy. It's going to be like, I don't want to hear you. I need to see what your watch says. Or I need to see what these 2 fingers say up here on your neck. Then I'll make my decision on if we're okay for the next 5 minutes until I want you to check it again. And reassurance, guys, it becomes addictive. It's like a drug. You want more and more and more of it. With any of these things, Googling, checking your vitals, even eventually for some people, it's going back to the doctor and getting more testing done. It's asking the people that we love that are close around us, are we going to be okay? Or am I okay? Do you think I'm healthy? Calling people whenever we're driving, constantly needing, external reassurance, constantly being in these Facebook groups and Reddits and all this stuff. It becomes a drug and you need more of it. So guess what? Your subconscious starts to rely on it. So you are living like a heart patient when every time you check, you're sending negative energy, fearful energy to your heart. You're indicating that there is a problem. So therefore, the fast heart rate will continue, combined with some of the stuff we're going to talk about in a second. If you want to see quicker results within the next couple weeks, I'm not saying it's going to clear the whole thing up. Some of you might get lucky and this might clear up most of it. But for a lot of you, sorry, it's windy out here today, guys. But for a lot of you, you're still going to have some residual symptoms even after a couple weeks, right? To finish it off, you're going to have to really focus on some of these other things that we're going to talk about. But to get a big chunk of this problem is to get it the out of sight, out of mind approach. You have to start trusting your heart when you do these things, when you go for walks, whenever you take in the groceries. I'm talking about things outside of vigorous exercise. You have to get back to those things, getting out of bed, getting up off the couch. Because there were so many times, if I didn't check or know that my heart rate went up, a little extra when I got off the couch, I might have not gone into a panic attack. I mean, sure, there were times when I could really just feel my heart, and then sure, at that point, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm going to be scared. But there were so many times I sabotaged myself because I checked. And if I just wouldn't have checked, I wouldn't have had it escalate into anything else. And I would have been able to just keep going. Sure, I'm going to wonder. I remember whenever I first started getting away from checking, I still would wonder what my heart rate is. It didn't fit. Whenever you're constantly wanting to check it, you're not going to just make the thought go away completely at first, but you don't know. It's kind of a form of it's letting go of control and trusting your body and trusting your heart. You are now showing your subconscious, we don't have to check. Now, it's going to be upset with you. It's going to be like, why are you checking? You got to check. I need this. I don't trust you, because you haven't been the voice of reason. You haven't been the voice of rationality. You know what I mean? You've been needing something else for reassurance. a device, Googling, all that stuff. Get away from checking. Give your device to somebody. Sell it. I don't care if you bash it with a hammer. It's not doing you any favors. I don't care if it's giving you comfort. It's keeping you in this cycle, and it's making you live like a heart patient. On to the next thing. The excessive Googling and research. Can't talk today. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but again, the Facebook groups, the constant asking of questions. If you're going to make an appointment to a doctor, make an appointment with a doctor, okay? Stop constantly going. Some of you have heard the right thing a million times and you're still asking it every single day, okay? Stop researching, stop doing all this extra stuff, especially if you've been told you're good and you want to move past this. Either make you another appointment if you feel like you need to, or really start working on acceptance, because again, you're indicating to your subconscious that this symptom is a problem. And once again, your subconscious is going to take you seriously, just like it ain't taking you seriously if you constantly check your heart rate whenever you try to say things are good and I accept. It's gonna be like, well, why do you check all day? Why do you constantly seek reassurance online? Right? So that's something else that you could stop doing today that could make a big difference. Now, some other things, and I won't spend a ton of time on this. Clean up your diet. Some of you refuse to clean up your diet. You're more sensitive to the things that you eat and consume. Okay, so the food that you're eating, the highly processed stuff, sugar's not going to be good for a fast heart rate. High sodium is not going to be good for a fast heart rate. Caffeine is one that some of you guys are refusing to give up. Like, that's not going to help you. You're so sensitive to those things now. Nicotine, and tobacco, stuff like that. Like, that's not going to help you with your fast heart rate. Alcohol is not going to help you with your fast heart rate. It's mainly the next day. Sure, it might. For me, I used it because it calmed my symptoms down. It did actually help initially. But guess what? The next day was a nightmare, because guess what? Your dehydration. I told you I can't talk today. You are dehydrated the next morning. That's going to make your heart rate high too. Okay? Caffeine is a diuretic, so it's going to make you more dehydrated. You're going to have to pee a lot more. Your heart rate's going to start to go up. So that's not a good combo. Being dehydrated plus the caffeine. So think about your lifestyle. Is it worth it to keep those things around, or is it a better option for you to change that to give you some momentum? I'm not saying you can't ever have a cup of coffee again, or you can't ever have a piece of cake or anything like that. I'm talking about generally try to change the way that you eat and the way that you live, okay? It's part of detoxifying your environment. So get those things out. Drink plenty of fluids. Again, 80% of people are chronically dehydrated, believe it or not. It's a wild stat. You can look it up yourself. Again, dehydration is not going to help you with your heart rate. So exercise. Okay, this is a big one. But for some of you, this is going to be what sets you free. What you are most reluctant to do is going to be often the thing that gets you there faster, okay? This is the thing that finally got me over the hump, and it was something that I wish I'd done a long time ago. I tried, but it was like this barrier that I couldn't break through. Exercise, man. You have to start trusting your heart and getting through some of these tough moments. I know for a lot of you it's triggering like it was for me. I had to put myself in that situation. That's all I can say about it. I mean, you can try to take your time with it and work your way into it, but if you keep bumping into this wall that you don't want to get through, ultimately that's going to be what you have to get through. And I get it. It's scary. You feel like you're taking a risk. I understand that. But if months are passing by, if years is passing by, you're going to have to just ask yourself, like, nothing's happening. I never die or nothing. And also, this is just no way to live. I don't want to keep living like this. I hate this. It's not worth it, being afraid all the time. I've done everything that I can do. I've seen the doctors. I think it's time, to take that chance and maybe take my workout to the next level. And for some of you, to build up to this, exposure would be getting out of bed, going outside on a hot day, trusting your body when it's warm outside, taking in the groceries, start cleaning up your house, do some yard work, some things like that. And then after a week or two of doing that, then start doing some more exercise and then work your way up, make it a little bit more vigorous. So you have to get back to exercise. That's how you're going to get the evidence that you're healthy. So later on, whenever you're sitting on the couch and you're nervous about your heart rate, you can be like, well, I went for a good walk this morning. If something would have happened then. Or, I kicked that workout in the butt this morning. I would have had a heart attack then. I'm not going to have one over here standing around or watching a movie. So it's great evidence that you can have right from the get-go in the morning, which is whenever I would want you to preferably to do it. If you can't, try to just find some time during the day, but you start to collect evidence that you can handle it, and that's the value with that. Okay, so that's something that you need to start implementing. I know it's probably the hardest part, the hardest thing, but it's the thing that's going to get you there the quickest, honestly. And then the next one, guys, is changing your fearful responses and your behaviors. Obviously, the behaviors is checking, Googling, all that kind of stuff. But other behaviors is like having to constantly pace or go distract yourself or whatever. Just be there with it, you know, and give context of safety to your subconscious, you know, from, you know, we've been checked out, we've had all the testing, nothing ever happens, we never die, we never pass away. Every time I've had a panic attack, I thought I was going to die, but I never do, I never faint. You know, nothing's going to happen today. Just start explaining that to your subconscious. Now, if you don't do that and all you've been doing is checking and doing all the wrong stuff, it's not going to trust you immediately. So you have to come back and come back and come back and come back. It's okay to be afraid, okay? Contrary to what you might believe or what you've heard from other people, that fear will go down as long as the confidence goes up. Bravery and courage is what's needed to stand up for your subconscious and to be rational when it's hard to be rational, and to deliver that context of safety and to do these other things. It's going to take courage to not check. It's going to take courage to not get online and seek reassurance. It's going to take courage to break through that barrier with your exercise, to start building that evidence that your heart can handle it. It's going to take courage for some of you to change your lifestyle, but it's worth it. You know, if you want more help, guys, with your anxiety recovery process, check out my course, Elite Anxiety Bootcamp. It's helping a lot of people. It can help you too. All right. If you want a program to work along with the things that I've talked about today, tons of things are packed into that course. That plan will get you started towards recovery, guys. So check that out. If you are interested in coaching information, my email is down below. I will send you a email with all my information, and we'll see if we can get on the phone. Please like this video if you got value, and subscribe if you're new. I will talk to you soon, guys. Bye.